Welcome to Really Raha, the podcast for women who know they're way too powerful to be stuck in a 9-to-5. I'm Raha, multi-six-figure high-ticket sales coach, PhD student in global leadership and change, and sponsored skateboarder. I went from serving tables and chasing tips to mastering high-ticket sales and building income streams that don't require me to trade hours for dollars. Here we talk about the real path into remote sales, landing aligned offers, closing with confidence, regulating your nervous system under pressure, and building a skill set that pays you from anywhere. This isn't bro sales. This is psychology, power, and feminine precision. If you're here, it's because you feel it. Freedom isn't optional for you. It's inevitable. Let's get into it. Hello. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Really Raha podcast. I am just gushing in gratitude right now because we doubled our revenue in a single month. Like we made 2.6x what we did last month, and it was all through simple tweaks. So in this episode, I'm going to give you a deep dive behind the scenes of what our data looked like in March, what those little spots of improvement, everything that we did, how many closes we got, where the leaks in the boat are, and how we've already begun to refine that for April, and why we are on track for a 50K month in April. So I want to first start by just feeling that gratitude because I want you to know that this is possible for you. Like first and foremost, if I could figure this out, so can you. I was serving tables. You know me. Like I was making my money off tips. I was a professor and barely had enough money to pay my bills. Like there wasn't anything I could do with my college degree and beyond that would possibly make me enough money to live my dream life, to be able to give back to my family, to be able to hold all this space to help so many women with this exact journey. And one of the biggest changes that we made in March is we booked triple the calls compared to the previous month by making a few changes to our inputs in our spreadsheet. And we're not working any harder or longer. We're just doing things differently. And now we're getting a better return on our time. And not to mention is when you're in this place where you're like, things are flowing, you feel more aligned. So I can't even tell you how much more aligned and fulfilled I feel right now serving who I know I'm meant to serve. We just had 4 college girlies join 18, 19, 20-year-old women, and I get to be a big sis to them. I get to apply my psychology background and empower these women to take control of their futures and also to give back to their families and their grandparents. One of the girls that joined, she was like, I want to retire my grandparents. Like they are thinking about what they can do to break out of this box of trading time for money. This other girl, she's working at Domino's and has been for 2 years. And I was like, girl, you are way too hot to be working at Domino's. Like this literally makes no sense. So we did so many tweaks in March and now in April to be able to serve more women and also to help the women in Revenue Room that are wanting to have the same success. So it's just the biggest dream within a dream feeling because me and Mike, we are on the front lines. We are experimenting. We are coming up with so many new strategies and the ones that are going to be the path to the money the quickest. And I'm just feeling the gratitude so hard because when you track your data, like when you know exactly where the leaks in the boat are, everything opens up because sales no longer becomes emotional. It's no longer about that one person who didn't close or that one person who didn't book the call. It's like, no, you have 62 calls and now you can just look at it as the law of averages and then looking at where people might have dropped off, why the show rate was this percentage, and then you continue to make those tweaks because you know what part of the funnel to tweak. And regardless if you're a business owner or if you're a closer or if you're a setter, tracking your data, knowing what objections you're getting, knowing what to work on changes everything. Like this is how you scale your income. But first and foremost, before we get into the raw data, I want you to know that this is possible for you. Like I will say this a million times. If I could figure this out, so can you. And the cool part is, and what the women in Revenue Room love is they don't have to make the same mistakes that I did.
3 years into my business. They get to have their own journey. And instead of making expensive mistakes that's costing them time or stagnation or time working in a 9 to 5, they're seeing the path to money quicker. And if you haven't listened to last week's episode with Andrea about how she went from 0 to 11K in 3 months, that is evidence for you to believe that this is possible for you. I'm just a girl from Ohio. Like I believed that there was something bigger for me. I saw all these girls making money on Instagram and I was like, why can they and not me? What do they have that I don't have? And then I got mad. It's like, get mad at your current situation. Feel that present tension that it just makes no sense anymore to be living life, waking up every day, going to work, looking in the mirror. Oh, I don't want to be here, leaking energy, burning out. It's like, this is why we call it the rat race, because we spend 65 years of our life and then you retire. And then it's like, okay, now I get to live my life. So I want you to get mad that this just does not make sense anymore. And the result of when you start to see this happening right before your eyes is all the momentum that you need, which is why community is important. It's like, look around you. Are you around people that have this blue pill mindset that when you even think about wanting to get into high ticket sales, they're like, oh, that's not safe. Oh, that's a scam. It's like, yeah, that's the story that's keeping them where they are. So before you take advice or listen to anybody, I want you to ask yourself, are they living a life that I want to live? Do they have values? Do they have a philosophy to life that I look up to? And if they don't, then we're not going to listen to them because their belief system has a story that's not supportive for the life that you want to live. And no shame to them. Everyone has their stories, but at the end of the day, the problem is when you make that story yours. So find an empowering story of people who are doing this. Let that be your belief system and start taking action from that belief system. Your world will open up. Use me as evidence. Use Andrea as evidence. Use the girls that you're seeing as evidence. And I want you to trust yourself, because in order to be in the red pill world, high ticket sales, business owner, whatever it is, anything that's not trading your time for money, there is an initiation with a different type of mindset, with resourcefulness. And it's not just money, it's time, it's energy. It's the mindset of how can I? It's the mindset of delusional self-belief that I'm going to put one foot in front of the other no matter what. Otherwise, nobody would be working a 9 to 5. Everybody would be in high ticket sales, because it is the mindset that distinguishes people who are stuck in the rat race and people who decided to get out. So I want to first empower you with that mindset. First and foremost, that needs to be your foundation. And it's not like you snap your fingers and you're like, oh, I got the mindset. It's like, no, the mindset comes through action. Like every action you take that supports the belief system you want. It's like, you think of it as, you're driving down a highway versus you're walking in a forest in a beaten path. It's like the beaten path is the new mindset you're stepping into. But eventually, when you walk down it enough times, it becomes more clear, turns into a highway. So there's work that happens with reprogramming the limiting beliefs that have been keeping us stuck in the cycles and stepping into a belief system that supports your values, that supports you making money that you can't even comprehend. And it's thinking outside of the box, and it's switching industries, because the industry that you're in does not support it. And I want to also tell you, you don't even need experience to be in high ticket sales. The training is the experience, which is why when you start applying to high ticket jobs, the first thing they're going to ask you is, where did you get your training? So I've seen so many girls coming into my DMs saying, hey, I want to be your setter. I want to be your closer. And I ask them, where did you get your training? If I'm going to trust you to lead my sales calls, I want to make sure I have my best fighter in. I want to make sure that I have someone who's competent in how to lead a Zoom call. So it's expensive to onboard somebody. And as an offer owner, we need to know that this person knows what they're doing. So that's why it's like, I don't care if any of these girls coming into my program don't have an experience. I didn't have experience. I was serving tables. But I will tell you, just by you being a woman, that is experience. Because as women, we are meant to sell, and selling is giving. And when you can use your intuition, when you can trust that inner voice, and to be able to have a framework that supports that, you're unstoppable. You're collecting 10 to 20% commission on deals that range from 5K, 10K, 20K plus. This is how these girls are making 10K days, 20K months, 30K months, because it's an industry that supports that. And I also love it too because it's recession proof. No matter what's happening in the economy, high ticket sales is unaffected because it is a frequency, it is a clientele of people that understand the value of investing in themselves. And you're selling different types of service programs, coaching programs, whatever it is. They're unaffected by what's happening in the economy. Not like, oh, I'm working, I think it was Oracle, right? They laid off 30,000 employees with a simple email. So that's what I mean when I say like you need to get mad, because it just does not make any sense anymore that someone can have this much power over you. It just doesn't make sense. Your job is not safe. It's no longer, oh, you go to work, you have this pension, you have this 401k. They laid off 30,000 employees with an email. That's how easy it is. And they had their best quarter with so much revenue, but they got all replaced by AI. Also, being in high ticket sales cannot be replaced by AI because we will always need a human leading a sales call. So we've shifted into a generation where getting a 9-to-5, going to college is no longer the safe route. There's no security in that. The security is in trusting yourself, going all in, and committing to something new. So now let's dive into the data, because I want you to see this up close of what our March looked like. We generated a little over 21K in revenue. And from that, let's break it down. So we have a new strategy called Affinity Outreach, and it's been going very well for us. And we've shared it with the women inside of Revenue Room as well. And they're making money appear out of nowhere. And Affinity Outreach is being able to connect with where your target avatar is living in different communities, who they're talking to, and being able to send a message to them that not only makes them want to open it and makes them feel seen, it makes them, there's a need in that message. And then you start a conversation and you take them down a 2-call close. Outbound leads need a 2-call close. These are people that would not close with a 1-call close. They're too cold, because in that first call, you're raising awareness, you're raising urgency, and you're reframing any limiting beliefs that they have. A lot of them are like, oh, like, I don't want to get scammed. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what I don't know. So all of that happens on that first call. And then if they're qualified, pass them through. So of the 62 calls that we booked, 41 of them were strategy calls. 28 of them showed. So this is why we need volume. Volume is important because not everyone who books is going to show, let alone close. So there's so many different parts of the funnel that you can look at of like, okay, so of the 62, 41 booked a strategy call, 28 shows, and 18 of them were given an offer to go to the next call. And keep in mind too, like with our 2-call close framework and what we teach is the first call goes so buttery and so well, and it hits all those checkpoints where the prospect is asking you about the training program or whatever program that you're selling for the offer. So when you can make it come from them, it's going to increase the chance of a close, because we're not pitching on this first call. You don't need to. Of the 62, as we said, 41 were strategy calls, 21 were sales calls. And of those 21, 14 showed. So that lets us know, me and Mike were like, okay, let's look at the data. Let's see what we can do to improve the show rate. Let's see what we can do to improve the quality of the avatar. Maybe we can think about screening more. So it tells us where the leaks in the boat are, so we can get a higher return on our time. And then of the 14 sales calls that showed, 10 of them I pitched, because I don't pitch everybody. I'm very, very like strict with qualifying. And it's not even like, oh, you need this big thing. It's like, if you're not committed, I'm not bringing you into my program. And everyone is different with how you qualify for the offer and so on. But for me personally, I bring in people into Revenue Room that I know are going to see success. And I know in order to see success, you just need to be committed. That's it. I need to know someone is going to have skin in the game. They're going to show up, and that's how they get results. I'm very results driven. And of those 10 that I did pitch, 4 closed. So that's the general path of our data. And this is why it's important to have a spreadsheet, because we can look at this and we can give this to our clients. We can give this to our students so they can see what the leaks in the boat are too. And it's just, honestly, it feels like magic that you can just have this entire spreadsheet showing you what their status is, whether you pitch them. And then from there, we look at April, and now we set a monthly target for April for 50K. And we're a week in and we're at 13,400, so 13,400. And we know exactly how many closes we need, exactly how many offers we need to make, exactly how many messages we need to send. And it just becomes like a game. And something I'll never forget that one of my students said to me is, she said, some people are playing the game of life and some people are just in the game. And I work with people who play the game. And when you play the game, that is how you're lit up. That is your baseline. You're not just disappearing into the crowd and you're just like, oh, I'll just get this paycheck. Playing the game makes life exciting. When you see your spreadsheet with these numbers light up like this, like Christmas tree lights, you know exactly what to do each day to hit your numbers. And from there, and this is why we have a data and tracking call in Revenue Room, because we look at anyone's data that's like, okay, here's my spreadsheet. Let's look at where we can make a tweak, where we can make a shift. Okay, your show rate is 60%. Let's look at your pre-call resources. Let's look at that page. Do you have a video on there to increase trust, etc.? And then from there, it's like micro tweaks. And then before you know it, you're like, whoa, I just set a goal for 50,000 a month. Like, that's honestly crazy to me. It's crazy to me. This is how you make $1 million in a year, is you start small. You start small, you make the little tweaks, you trust yourself, and then you keep scaling what's working. You double down on what's working. But this is why I've had a coach in my corner for 5 years, because I'm not making mistakes that would keep me stuck for a year, because I have someone in my corner holding the mirror to me, being that third perspective. So the girls inside Revenue Room, it's like we're saving them time and money on mistakes. Like you saw Andrea, like going from 0 to 11K. Yeah, that's science. That's math. It's matter of fact. It's not like, oh, why did this happen? It's like, no, there's data. So data is so important when you're on this journey, because you know exactly what inputs to shift. And I say this to empower you that there is a whole nother side. There's a whole nother industry where you can take all of your dreams and make them possible. Because you have such a big heart, and more people deserve to see the fruits of your labor, not just being stuck in the rat race. So in April, we did a lot of shifts. We're like, okay, we saw the March data. We saw where we lost people in the process. We saw the quality of the avatar, and we made the tweaks where necessary. Okay, the show rate was here. Okay, let's adjust something here. And now we're on track. We need 13 closes in April to get that 50K month, give or take. We have a couple different offer price points, but give or take. And then of those, we know exactly, like, it incorporates my close rate, and it incorporates the show rate, it incorporates the pass through, everything. So I want to leave you with this, that there are spreadsheets and data in the blue pill world, but there's also spreadsheets and data in the red pill world. And I want you to know that you can make your life predictable, even though it feels like, oh, this is new. Oh, this is scary. Oh, I don't know what to do. Because when you're in the right room and you're with a community of women who are like, yes, I believe in you. You got this. It makes all of the difference. So I hope you have a happy Tuesday. Let me know if you like this data-driven episode. If you want more of these, I'm happy to make more of these episodes. Tag me on Instagram at Radiant Rahoff. And as always, this is the magic happening in Revenue Room. I think it's pretty obvious that if I don't think that you're going to see success, I will let you know. You literally have nothing to lose by hopping on a call, connecting with me. and we can just dive deeper into your situation. And as I mentioned, like with the strategy calls that I give out, I'm purely doing this to give. Like if I feel like you're going to be an aligned fit, it's going to come from you first and foremost. And then from there, we're going to go into another call and decide that too. So this is possible for you. This is possible for you. There are college women in here that are just going ham on their life. And it's just a beautiful baseline for the day of just pulling out your phone and just being greeted by so much love. Because if your physical in-person room is not empowering you, is not making you feel good, it's limiting you, that's why we have a virtual room. That's why there are virtual rooms that are more aligned with your values and your philosophies in the life that you want to live. Find that room, whether it's revenue room, whether it's not, find that room and your entire life will change. Mwah. I love you so much, and I'll see you next week.
If this episode resonated with you, if something clicked, stretched you, or made you see what's possible, share it and tag me on Instagram at Radiant Rahav so I can hype you up properly. And if you haven't already, subscribe and leave a 5-star review so more women who are ready to step into high-ticket sales and reclaim their freedom can find this space. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited for you already. See you next Tuesday.